only relevant one
All right.
for both of those games.
Well, I'm just going to go ahead and get things started. So, last time you arrived on the island of Myk'Isle, you met a new friend by the name of Finbar, a local uh,
Blacksmith.
tiefling blacksmith. He gave you all lunch, uh, some of which was not to some people's
The here's
tastes.
liking. The here seasoned it.
Yeah, so here may have seasoned it magically, covertly, discreetly, if possible.
But you also asked if it was a dish common amongst his people.
Yes, I even if I didn't like it that much, I wanted to learn more about his culture.
I'm just reminding you what happened.
He also showed you around town, specifically to what's more or less this island country's capital, the Hanatura trading post. There you caught sight of a large angry crowd and met one of the island's councilmen, the High Elf Chuyen Van. Um, the physician tried to get a job from Chuyen, but was turned down on the basis that you people aren't high enough level. However, you were given a job by a certain pseudo dragon cleric to deliver an item for her. On the
Ah,
way,
yes.
yeah. What was that?
Ah, yes. Chomper.
Yeah,
This
Chomper.
is a dragon cleric. He's not sure what she's a cleric of.
The things that you might be a cleric of evil tree.
All along the
Which is
way, along the way, you have stopped a fight between a Onamusha and some bounty hunters, as you kind of later found out. The Onamusha vanished, but not before downing all of them. You were able to save two of them, but not the third. While Jean and the physician buried the body, Iseline and Sahir continued on, where they met the consort and Tyros, Shadow Guide. After their attention was then turned to a kitsune in a basically a beach chair, reading a book, and with a five-tailed fox in her lap. Now the five-tailed fox was not happy about having her napped interrupted, and basically told you if you want to get reservations for a plot of land, go talk to the building advisor. But she was the
Honey, you
building
are the
advisor.
building advisor. Dang it.
But eventually, Jean and the physician joined you, and the physician turns out to have known this five-tailed fox and gave her some tea. After a bit of talk, which most of the party was just in the dark of, having no idea what was going on.
I think he wants to exchange these.
Um, eventually it's still, yeah, all right, just come back later. We'll send you a sending when I'm ready, mentally and physically. And so now that brings us to the present. This time on this as of yet unnamed adventuring party.
I can bring it to you with a hot. You don't have to eat on the couch.
We don't have to look that way, don't we?
But,
That's
yeah.
right.
So,
Over here.
as the physician turns to leave the consort, said, if you would all wait a moment, you haven't been paid, have yet. I don't think Chomper paid you, correct?
He did not. Or
Uh,
she did not.
yes, Chomper's female. Tora-chan. Should consort will call like towards the house, and after a second, the red-haired samurai woman like steps out, like to like see all of you like stare for a second before turning her attention back to the consort. Yes, I. The two will speak in a. Well, the consort will basically tell this Tora person to grab their coin purse and to pay you all.
What was the thing you called her?
So, when she called out, she said, Tora-chan.
Tora-chan.
Which, Sahir would know that's just, like, one way of saying, like, Mr. or Mrs. It's kind of a way of, like, to someone, like, lower than you on the social hierarchy.
Okay. Yes. Yes, you may take a picture of the food before we eat.
That one's slightly more picturesque, I think.
Does
can
the
Vanna
armor
White
look
it.
familiar?
Hmm?
Does the armor look familiar?
Yes, it's basically the same woman that you saw earlier. But
Basically or exactly?
roll perception.
Okay. Let's see. Here's my d20.
I think should be noted as we are recording that Dominic did make Arabic food for him and his wife.
Or you can't actually see what it looks like.
I'm gonna post it.
I know.
Perception, so that's
Vanna White.
11.
You're pretty sure it's the same armor.
I love how you're taking a picture of both of your
I can bring it to work.
I know.
Yeah, but you as you're thinking about before she didn't have a hilt for a sword, and currently she doesn't have the hilt for a sword. Nor does she have the sword in hand. With the katana in hand.
Alrighty.
That the Tora will bow her head slightly and say "Hi" before like going back into the house. If no one's gonna say anything.
Joan will actually look over at both Ilsa and Zahir and ask, so you didn't ask for payment immediately after giving the package?
We were busy talking with the consort?
Knowledge is power. So they say.
Yes, it is, but money is also power.
As you are waiting, you will hear a flapping of wings, and as you turn, you see a Aarakocra with golden brown feathers, wearing a top hat and like a half cape, like he's also got what appears to be a cane with him. But he'll like lands like not too far from you and say, eh, terribly sorry. Uh, is the Prime Minister here? I have, and you can just hear the I'm not meeting with anyone today.
Joan will just kind of like point over her shoulder.
Please, please. This will only take a second. And
Sir, Prime Minister's not seeing anyone today. We have a package to deliver. She is currently busy.
yes,
I-
and I can understand. I've heard what has happened yet last night, but I am not here about finding a colony or whatever. I am here about putting up a what's the common word for it? A circus. Yes, a circus. Like my troop is in town, and well, quite simply, it sounds like your people could use a bit of a morale boost. And so you have a picture of the guy.
We spent a decent amount of time on the boat we got over here on, right?
Yes.
Was there
Especially
any
playing
circus
cards.
material under the hull?
No. Yeah, sure, whatever. Just go away.
This can't have any negative consequences.
No.
Yeah, if an elected official, I would have figured you would be a lot nicer. I wasn't elected, I was assigned.
Appointed.
Well, that's a rather interesting position, but very
Wow.
well. Would any of you be interested in like going to the show?
Sure, where are you setting up?
Seems like a great way to make new friends. New customers.
Well, we have yet to decide on where we're setting up since, yeah, I just got permission. But, yeah, I am a bit of the ringleader, I suppose. That will be the final decision. But, and he will, like, flick one talon and you'll see, like, a deck of cards appears, like, in his hands. I'm a bit more of a show person myself, not an announcer.
We just met this world's PT Barnum.
Well, if you have doubts
That
about
show.
my if you have doubts about my skill, please draw a card.
So here we'll eagerly draw a card.
I don't want to draw any cards. Afraid of what this card deck might be.
All right.
Think of many things.
You will draw a. You'll draw a ace of clubs or ace clubs. Anyone else wish to draw?
Joan also draws one.
I'm fine, thank you.
You'll get 5 of clubs. Isleen was not drawing any cards.
Correct. I'm fine, thank you. I mean, I'm gonna be watching, but I don't particularly feel like drawing a card right now.
I wish I knew if the physician was going to draw a card.
Me too.
Alright, well, I will do that preemptively.
Jen, pick a card.
I will do that preemptively, just someone, like, note down what it is.
Will do.
Okay.
Joan drew 4 of clubs?
5.
5 of clubs.
Alright, that's 7 hearts.
Sounds a bit exaggerated.
Hey, look, I rolled a D12 and a D4. And
No, I
it
was making
got
a
7.
No, I was making a joke about the 2 hearts thing.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Right, you got your cards memorized?
Indeed.
Right, turn to them to the deck if you will.
30. Did he ask us to return the cards?
Yeah, right, put them back in the deck.
So here we'll follow instructions.
Following instructions.
Eagerly await the result.
Right,
Joan is carefully watching everything he does.
So
I'm also watching actually because I'm trying to figure out if this is actually if this is a good trick or a bad trick. I'll put it that way.
Alright, so like, as soon as the last card is like picked up, the deck of cards would like suddenly just like almost as if they've been slapped out of his hands and go flying into the air. And even he looks surprised that had happened. And so here, yeah, you can hear some snickering coming from the fox people.
Here keeps this in note, but continues to be an eagerly watching audience member.
Okay. That was not supposed to happen. Not supposed to happen. But I can fix this. And we will like take one wing and like do a motion, and you'll feel a bit of a gust that swirls around him, and he will like quickly like swap 3 of the cards out of the air. And those of you that are paying attention, roll perception checks.
24.
12.
16.
He just like grabs the cards out of the air, and he'll take one of the 3 cards in his hand into Joan. He'll say, "This is your card," and it is indeed the same card that you drew.
The 5 of clubs.
You, good sir, is your card. And I forgot what that one that was.
The Denace of clubs that he's showing me?
Yes. And to the physician is indeed the same card that he drew.
Nice recovery.
Yeah,
Very clever. Very clever.
yeah, and he'll like start picking up the lost cards. I'm like, yeah, I don't know what happened there. He'll look over at the 2 fox women, who's like with a bit of a squint of his eyes.
Deer kind of glances up to see if they are giving any reaction to indicate that they might have interfered.
I'm glancing over that way as well because I noticed. I mean, I overheard the snickering and like, okay, he was flustered. That wasn't meant to happen.
I mean, Tong has her eyes closed, but she has got an obvious grin on her face.
Zahir is secretly more impressed now.
Joan will help.
I'm wondering how she did it, but
pick
she's
up some
diplomatic.
cards.
Thank you, ma'am. And he'll take all his cards back and like shuffle them before sliding them back up his sleeves. This is you are quite a group. You do have a bit of a smell of the sea salt. I take it you just arrived?
Indeed, we did.
Well, it kind of looks like that we're all birds of a feather, I take it. Or, if you pardon my pun.
You arrived today as well?
Let's check something.
I wish I could share this through the screen, guys.
If we met in person, I could have made enough for everybody. It would have been great.
I wish I could share. This is really good.
Yeah. He kind of looks at over all of you like. The you do some of you. One of you appears to be fighting capabilities. You need not worry about bringing or not bringing weapons. We recognize that some people are safer with things to defend themselves, but we're not entirely defenseless ourselves. And raises his cane slightly.
Fully out of character. That was the most confusing phrase I've ever heard.
Would we need to defend ourselves at a magic show or a circus, sir?
You shouldn't. I'm just saying some people worry that they need to check their weapons at the door. Or leave them at home.
Considering we just arrived off the boat, most of us don't really have a permanent home, so what home would we be leaving our weapons at, sir?
Well, that's what I was saying. I leave things at the door.
Sorry.
I didn't.
I feel like the physician would have said, "Oh, I just have my home right here. We can we can just throw it in here."
I would feel more comfortable doing that than leaving anything that I own at the door of the circus. Granted, the weird blue box thing might as well be another circus, but but the physician I actually have known a little bit longer.
Alright, so, Jen, what you just missed was a Aarakocra has appeared and did a little magic trick.
Did a little magic trick. Okay.
In a top hat and a cane.
What?
Eric Hooker is wearing a top hat and carrying a cane.
Okay. No, we're gonna sit at the desk. This will be easier. I need my computer. Okay. Is it still there?
Eric Hooker.
Is it being threatening?
No, he's talking to us.
They played a card
Okay.
game with us. If you draw a card.
Yes.
Meow.
Yeah. And we fear that the physician would, in fact, like, draw a card.
He invited us to he wants to put on a circus and asked Tong for permission to do so. She doesn't care. She just wants to sleep.
Gotcha. Albus, stop howling. Hold on.
But,
Albus.
Alright, so,
Headphones aren't in.
Tora then, like, comes out of the house and, will go over to, Iseline, since you're not the one conversing with the new person. And she'll put into your hand 24 gold. To divvy out.
We just delivered a package, ma'am. Are you sure this is the correct amount?
We have more than we need here. It's not much to us.
Isabel's just kind of like staring at it in her hand. I'm like, okay.
But, who is
So here kind of bumps her and is like, you can say thank you.
Thank you.
And she'll cross her arms and say, so who is this new individual?
He apparently wants to put on a circus in town. Prime Minister Tong said that he could, mainly because I think she wants him to go away so she can rest. He didn't want to listen to me when I told him that she wasn't seeing any visitors.
Yes. Well, I must say that that is a rare sight to see such a red-headed beauty here. And he'll say that like tipping his top hat. But yeah, by all means, like do come. This would be a rare opportunity to inject some entertainment into your lives on this little rock.
Not like some of you need entertainment or adventure.
The town would very much appreciate it.
Adventure needs all sorts of entertainment, and while it brings plenty of the unsafe kind, it's good to have some safe entertainment too, or more safe.
Where's the fun in that?
Variety, the spice of life.
That was out of character, but I wanted to say. Sorry, Jen, you missed the fact that Dominic was getting into character day, so I'm eating Makaba. It's a Lebanese?
Libyan.
A Libyan dish that's actually really, really good. Like, simple. Well, looks simple, but very yummy.
Well, I hope to see as much of you there tonight as can possibly go. If you have no questions for me, then I shall take my adieu.
He still didn't say where it was.
Well, like you said, he just got permission. He doesn't exactly have a place picked out yet.
True.
He was obviously underprepared. He's obviously not a business student because every business student would tell you have to know the location before you ask permission. And have already set up, so you're more asking for forgiveness.
But, yeah. Just look for the big red tent. And he will spread forth his wings and fly off towards the town.
He was very cagey.
Mhm.
He didn't even
Oh, yeah.
tell us the ticket price.
But made very sure that we knew we didn't have to leave our weapons at the door. Yeah, it's a little strange.
Well, I can't say I blame him. Weapons are awful.
It's a shame everyone carries one.
I don't. Weapon free.
I mean, do you see any weapons on me? The samurai woman says.
I have this image in my head
Can I
of
do a
all
perception check of that?
You may.
like all of us collectively looking at her. Because the samurai woman that just spoke, Jen, is the one that we found being accosted by the bandits on the road on our way up to the consort's house. She just doesn't have her sword on her.
The hero will playfully use his mage hand to float his weapons away from him and say, "Just as many as I have. None on me."
14.
Doesn't have any weapons on her. I mean, she has a drum.
Mm.
Who has a drum?
The samurai
Samurai
woman.
lady.
She
Okay.
has a drum.
Does it talk?
You
That was my
haven't
first
heard it speak so far.
You are not a weapon. You're supposed to be a friend. I'm not even sure that's what you are.
Same samurai lady from earlier.
Okay. Why is she with us?
The consort called a Torah person out of the house and asked her to get some money from her coin person and pay you all for the job that Chomper had you do.
Ah. So you are a pain in my behind.
I'm gonna close my hand around the gold to make sure I don't drop it, and then look up at the physician. I'm assuming. Wait, how tall is the physician?
6'1".
Okay, I'm looking up. Excuse me, sir, but who are you speaking to?
Amelia.
Who's Amelia?
That's a complicated question. A little girl, but also an adult, and quite possibly my mother-in-law.
I'm just gonna turn back to everybody else and try and ignore the madness that just came out of his mouth. Opening my hand back up, it's like, Tora-chan, they paid us very handsomely for delivering Chomper's presents. And you
Yes, I
guys
hope
see
she is well too.
just hanging out in her hand. Like,
Uh.
we have this to divide between us.
Oh, how much is there?
24, so that means 6 piece. If we divide it evenly. Which I was assuming that would be exactly what we did.
Sounds fair enough to me.
The
Okay.
samurai woman will then walk back towards the consort and begin having a conversation between the two and Tyros.
Is it a quiet conversation?
Roll insight.
Oh, okay. 27.
I mean, they're okay. So, does your character speak quote unquote fantasy Japanese?
No, but he can make it so he can.
So they are speaking in that language, seemingly so that people don't immediately understand.
But Sahira understands.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So, here, what you hear? Nice rhyme. Is basically saying what was that guy about? Guess he's going to put on a show. I would like to go to that show.
I take it that's the lion guy.
Yes.
Oh,
I would like to go to that show. It sounds like it would be fun. I can't really in my condition. I can take him, ma'am, if he really wants to go. If you would, thank you. It is the gist of the conversation.
You want more? Sahira doesn't see any need to tell everybody else that.
I was gonna say, with the tone of their voice, the doctor's not, or the physician. It's so much easier to say doctor than physician.
Do it.
Huh?
Then do it. Well, we all know what to actually say.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, with that tone of voice, he's just like, it's not important. They're not trying to be sneaky. They're just talking.
Yeah. But at this point, you have nothing other than possibly attending that circus in the evening.
Well,
So,
I am all for exploring. That's my whole thing.
all right.
To seek out new life and new civilizations. No, wrong sci-fi.
So, would you like to explore the town?
Yes.
All right.
So,
Actually,
as I say, I'm gonna go explore the town since we've got lots of time and lots of things to do. You are more than welcome to join me if you want to.
Sounds like an excellent plan. Get to know our surroundings, find out what spices I have to work with.
Yes, I suppose we can get hats, but I think you have enough.
Joan doesn't immediately respond and kind of just vaguely looks over while actually looking around the area, saying, "Yeah, it sounds nice." And I'd like to have Joan kind of make a perception check on the basically the cloud cylinder from this high vantage point.
Okay.
Trying to
She
figure out
has.
both its origin and what might be powering it.
All right. So, I say since you're like looking around, I would say first roll me a perception check. Then,
Okay.
depending on that, you may be rolling Arcana.
Okay. Let's see here. And it fell off the ground.
What's she looking for?
Okay.
He is trying to
His
examine
dignity.
the cloud from the
15,
vantage point
or
we have.
17, sorry.
Alright, so the ring of clouds seems to be more or less centered. Like, if you were to draw out a circle, then it seems like this would be the center of that circle. Or at the very least, very close by to the center. Roll Arcana then.
Alrighty. Arcana. That's not very good. Actually, no, that's actually decent. 15.
You don't know why there's a ring of clouds, though. You have heard that one of the chromatic dragons, like one of the layer effects is that it is constantly foggy for like 6 miles around the layer.
I don't want to play.
With that information, Joan will actually look over everyone else. I'll catch up with you all later.
Is something wrong?
No, just mild curiosity. And she'll actually start wandering back down the path, or maybe somewhere around the cottage that would have a different path going somewhere else to actually locate what is causing this.
I'm curious. Insight. I
Alright.
got a 21.
If you're hiding it, then roll deception, Marco.
Okay.
Against that insight.
Jeez. That's it's 8. I don't have charisma.
Doctor once again
Seems like Joan wants to do some exploring of her own. And she's looking up at the clouds.
Probably looking up at the clouds, then kind of taking a couple 360s of the general area and being and starts walking down the path.
Okay, and now I'm gonna take a peek at the clouds, see if I can figure out what the heck she was looking at.
Alright.
What is mine? 17.
Okay, so you get basically the same information, looking at the clouds. It seems like if you were to this would be the center of the eye of the storm, more or less, the dead center, well, not the dead center, but very close to the dead center.
This pillar of clouds that surrounds the town that we saw when we came in.
And we already know that it's magical because it's not doing anything.
Yes. Well, it's not natural because it hasn't done anything. And it's also late afternoon. Well, I mean, it's afternoon, not late afternoon. So any fog should have burned off already.
Yeah. Sorry, Amelia. Hats are gonna have to wait, and I'm gonna follow it around.
Writing's hard, guys.
All right.
What's hard?
Writing.
Oh.
Oh, my bad. Not Amelia. Donna. Only Donna would want hats.
All right, Jean, roll investigation.
Okay.
Reminds me of the doctor who
Oh,
wasn't
that's really good.
doctor
Plus,
stuff in your head.
so 23.
All right. But- so if we all go over to the map of Myk'Isle, or no, not Myk'Isle, the map of Lair.
Yeah, I was gonna say you said Myk'Isle earlier. I'm like, huh?
So the name of the island is Myk'Isle.
Mm-hmm.
The name of the town is Lair. So, Joan, right where it says Myk'Isle's Lair, that it appears to be where the center of the clouds is. Like, the center of this ring of clouds is. But you will see that there appears to be, so Kamiya Cottage, it's like at the top of more or less a cliff, like above this point. There is like there's a cave, pretty much. A big cave.
Probably easily dragon-sized.
Yeah, probably. There are signs that say "keep out."
No soliciting.
No soliciting.
Major
Yeah.
point.
No one home. Or enter at your own risk. And that last part is in bold. Bold letters.
I love no one home followed by enter at your own risk.
Fascinating.
So you're kind of
Tell me,
looking
poke
at
it
the
with a
rest of the
stick.
party after the physician
poking
laughing
it
is
with a
like, so are we following them now or are we going to town?
What happened the last time we went to a cave?
I think we better follow those two because I'm not sure what's going to happen.
All right, adventure is out there.
Ah,
And so here we'll happily tromp off in the direction of.
Adventure is out there.
I see who the troublemakers are in this party.
Yeah.
Uh,
Joe like
Not
start reading all
you.
the signs and think, I don't really know what I was expecting, but I really shouldn't have expected anything else.
Sahir catches up with these two. He'll look at the signs and he says, "Nobody home. Enter at your own risk." It seem unlikely to both be true.
I've seen trapped rooms before.
I mean, it could be trapped, or it could be decrepit, or a bunch of other things. It just seems a lot less likely than the alternatives.
Well, the only way we're going to find out is if we go look. And I'm just going to step on him.
Can I stop the physician by like grabbing the back of their shirt or something? Like, nope, we're not doing that.
Yank on his coat.
Yeah.
I guess roll a grapple check.
Guess I gotta oppose it.
Yeah. Oh, what'd you get?
Natural one.
Well, I rolled a nat 18, so so you grab the coat and he just slips his arms out.
Keep walking.
I do want that back, though. I do like that coat.
It'll look great as the only thing that's in your grave.
I'll be fine. I've died before.
That doesn't make it better.
For that comment, as Italy's mind's just like, I have no idea what to think of this. But I don't want him to die again. It doesn't make any sense that he's died already. What on earth is going on? And who's
Joan will actually like turn to the other. Like, I'm not the only one who thinks he's crazy, right?
speaks to somebody named Amelia who's not even here? No, you're not the only one who thinks he's crazy.
Before the physician gets too far, Sakir will look for a nearby pebble or like small rock to throw into the cave to see if it just makes any distinctive sounds or disturbs anything.
I thought you were going to cast light on that thing and we were going to have it as light rock.
No, I don't have any light with this character.
Sorry, I thought it was the return of the light rock.
And while he does this, he'll reply to Joan and Isoline and be like, man seems to be an entire living lore packed into one tiny person. One myth.
He's very
one
skinny.
Entire creation myth. An entire religion, maybe.
Alright, so nothing happens when you throw the rock in or when the physician steps in.
I'm just gonna step in the front, and then I'm gonna start to, especially because I know that they're just hanging back there. I'm just gonna start ritualistically, whatever, you know what I mean, casting detect magic.
Ritualistically.
So I'm like, yes, ritualistically casting that while I'm like examining the walls and things, looking around.
Probably with your stick going, wee.
Yes,
So here
I
we're
have my
looking at-
wand out and it's buzzing, and there's a blue light.
So here we recognize the ritualistically cast spell, right? Because they take a while.
Yeah.
I would definitely recognize this because I'm a wizard.
Yeah. So here
Yeah.
notices this and goes, so we don't have any specific place to set up camp. Should I just like set up here and start cooking? It's gonna be a while.
No, it would be
I don't
better
know
if
what's
we
in the
went
kitchen,
somewhere
I'd probably-
less dangerous.
Okay.
Oh yeah, totally. Well, I mean, does this work on? This isn't wood. This is rock. And no, it doesn't work on wood. Shut up.
So after 10 minutes, you get the spell cast, and
10 minutes, not an hour.
Yeah, 10 minutes. I was gonna say you could do loads in 10 minutes.
There's nothing
I was
like
thinking,
there's nothing popping out as magical in the 30 feet around you.
How long does that last? Written
10
down?
minutes.
Once it's cast, it lasts 10 minutes?
Yeah, and it's concentration.
Oh, perfect. All right. Cool. Safe for now. I'm gonna start walking in. Further.
Alright. So if anyone else follows the physician, well, those of you with dark vision will notice, like, the further in you go, there are more, like, gems, like, growing out of the walls.
Gemstones.
And these are more showing... They're showing a vague magic. There's no specific school to them.
They're not pink, are they?
No.
Good.
Thank you.
Well,
Tahir kind of shrugs his shoulders and decides to light a torch in his and have his mage hand carry it around and follow. having the torch.
I'm
lead
using the little blue light on my wand
Having the torch.
I'm using the little blue light on my wand to see because I don't
Jonah's
think
just standing at the entrance, visibly rooted to the spot because of an obvious indecision. It's just like,
you eventually start finding piles of gold. Piles of gold and gemstones. And then you see what look like claws. As you move the light up, those claws are attached to legs, which are attached to a body. So the body of this thing, it looks like black smoky quartz, like scales made of black smoky quartz.
Ooh, that's pretty.
And this thing, incredibly lifelike, but it's not moving.
I'm gonna poke it with my wand.
Nothing appears.
I am somewhere, by the way, it just says where I'm at. I'm somewhere in between Joan and Sahir because I'm not sure if I want to go all the way into the cave.
You went into the cave.
I know you did. But I'm also trying to keep an eye on where the guys have gone, but not necessarily wanting to leave Joan by herself.
Torch probably makes it easy to watch us slapping the wand. Here kind of looks up at the giant statue and he just says, "Well, I will touch nothing but the lamp."
Beg your pardon?
I'm not taking anything from this cave unless there's a lamp. And then only maybe.
Well, I don't see a lamp. I'm not sensing anything magical either. I mean, there's a little bit, but it's like vague.
And at this point, the room is just full of magic.
Oh, at this point, oh, there is magic. Can I tell what kind of magic? If I concentrate.
Not well. Roll Arcana.
Ooh. Ooh. 19.
So this isn't human magic per se. This is draconic magic. Like the magic
Draconic.
you see in a lair.
You know, this looks very much like a lair, but we're lacking a real dragon.
I will say that you will see signs at this point. I'm just double checking the names written on it.
That's
okay, there.
Indeed, sus.
Going to continue walking forward, very tentatively, but walking forward. So I think I overhear the physician say that we're lacking a real dragon. I'm like, dragon?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Did you say that out loud?
Very quietly. I don't know if you could hear it or not, but
I don't know. I got a pretty good perception. Dragon. And I'll do that tongue thing.
At that comment, I'm confused, but yeah. Not me as a player, but me as a character.
Alright, so the signs on this read property of Myk'Isle / Myk'Isle, the Black Crystal. Do not take Dragon Lair. You have been warned. And those are how the names are spelled.
I'm just kind of, because of the way you said it, just, why would I want to take a dragon lair? That's ridiculous. And also slightly impossible unless you have the right physics.
Yeah, basically, it's a warning saying, like, this is a dragon lair. If you don't know what dragon lairs are,
Not yours.
yeah. Yeah, not
So in other words, not
don't take anything.
Yoo-hoo! Not a big summer blowout.
No.
So,
Oh,
not really
touch
anything you want to take from.
except the proverbial lamp.
Well, maybe not even.
Just gonna kind of.
And maybe not even the lamp. Yeah.
Why?
Why? Is there only one way in and out of this layer? As I look around.
It looks like there's some construction going on, but as far as you can tell, there's only one way in, one way out.
Construction. There's construction in the lair.
Yes. And actually,
Joy.
this does have magic. I think enchantment. Seems like someone's trying to create a demi-plane.
Hold on here.
At this point, John's been slowly walking in, like trying to not make as much noise as chainmail generally does.
Fascinating. Now, dragons don't usually do that. So is this really a dragon lair, or is somebody trying to fool us? There's draconic magic, but it could be dragon-born. I'm totally just saying this all out loud, mostly to myself. Because...
Yeah, because... Did you say a demi-plane?
Yes.
Yes, somebody is trying to make a demi-plane. But I very much doubt it's a dragon. I don't think dragons can do that. Let me think. Is that an arcana or a nature to know if a dragon can do that?
I'll leave this up to you. You could argue either.
Well, I have the same bonus to both of them. So either way is 19. I'm going to go with arcana.
Typically dragons don't make demi-planes.
I think so. No, that's silly. They're silly. Okay.
Right, so, but like one thing that you notice as you like look into it, it seems like someone's creating a bar or a tavern in this demi-plane.
Damn it. What? This is very weird. Why would you build a bar in a dragon lair in a demi-plane? That doesn't make sense. You don't need to go to a pub in a demi-plane. Got plenty of pubs here. Unless they don't have a pub here. This alcohol's illegal, but I
You're
doubt it.
kind of taking it all in fascination as he kind of tries to think of what kind of dragon might live here, and is probably thinking of the entirely wrong kind of dragon.
Probably at this point, Jones walked up and has heard some of the physicians' wonderings and
babbling.
Yeah, babbling, and kind of like looks around a little bit. Nightclubs make a lot of money.
I mean, you can roll your eyes, but then I'll have to sew them back on.
I just love the out of context. Like, I love that out of context because it sounds like you're just saying it in response to a joke.
I know, it's just like, nightclubs make a lot of money. Well, you could roll your eyes, but I'd have to sew them back on.
Like a stenographer would, someone reading off of a stenographer's recording of this would be very confused at all the non sequiturs.
Honestly, it's kind of the point.
I'm pretty sure I've caught up to Sahir by this time, and I'm also looking around and like trying to figure out
How constructed does this tavern look?
what's going on.
It's in the process of being made. It still looks like everything's been planned out, but they have yet to actually like put anything in there.
The real
Okay.
question is
That's
it's
exciting.
only early afternoon. It's afternoon. Why is nobody in here working on it now? Where have the employees gone? Are they employees or somebody secretly doing this? Are there slaves being forced to do this? Because that's absolutely not okay, and I'm gonna have to stop that.
The demi-plane is, it could just be magic that they're assembling with too, couldn't it?
There was a fire
Well, yes.
last night. They might be busy trying to rebuild everything from that.
I'm still trying to figure out what the point of this is. Don't enter, it's a dragon lair, but we're gonna build a pub here. Having
That
lunch. Why don't
implies
you
that
just
it's a
have lunch
secret.
outside? Yes,
Tell
only
me you
those who
don't
are
know
very
anybody
specially
in some
equipped.
public place that nobody's supposed to be.
Boy, I wish that player was
Uh.
active, so I could show you them like you guys discussing their ideas for this place.
Right.
I
So
mean, isn't it every other guy's dream to have their own, bar inside their own house? But they don't want other people in their own house.
This is
Mhm.
really out of character, but you're talking about the ultimate man cave. Freaking man cave bar and a dragon's lair. We're gonna revolutionize how people decorate their houses, guys. Forget
Okay.
like the sports themed man cave. No, dragon lair. Okay, back into character now.
I really.
So I can tell that there's a demi-plane there.
Yeah.
Is this demi-plane accessible?
Yes. You can walk into it.
Perfect.
Oh no. As soon as I hear him say perfect, I'm like, oh no, what does he see as perfect? He talks to an imaginary person or invisible person named Amelia or Dawn, I don't even remember anymore.
I'm not necessarily gonna step all the way through, but I definitely want to stick my head through.
Yeah, you stick your head through and it looks like a tavern in the middle of construction.
Hello? Is anybody in here?
Yeah, don't get any response.
Fascinating. What plane is this?
Here kind of
That's
comes up behind the physician. Does it look like anybody's built it recently?
Can you get dust in a demi-plane?
Dust in a demi-plane.
Well,
I assume this is an insight, like to see
Uh,
if it's new or
I think this would be more investigation.
investigation.
Yeah.
That works too. 14.
Yeah, it looks like it's been built in recently, but some people do make good points. That yeah, perhaps people are on break, or they're working on rebuilding from that fire.
Fair enough. Mm-hmm.
So much of this could be answered if you go to the library, or if you find the library.
So here, since you posed the question,
I have severe
as well.
trauma when it comes to libraries.
What were you saying, Dominic?
Considering I posed the question with an earnest desire to know it, although it was to the physician, should I roll as well?
If you're sticking your head in, yeah.
If I can find the space to do so, why not? I got a 20 plus 1.
What did the look like on our end? Like, for those of us around the physician and Zahir, like, do we just see their heads kind of like disappear?
Now there.
I'm not very well versed in the planes,
So,
like demi-planes, other planes kind of thing, other than how Jen runs it in her campaign.
So there appears to have been just like a temporary curtain that was placed over what will probably be a double doorway.
Okay.
But no, like, yeah, people have been here within like the past 24 hours. It looks like may have been construction crews, with the amount of sawdust that's on the ground.
Oh, fascinating. Well,
No random bottles of
nobody's
alcohol flying around. They're doing real work.
I'll pop my head back out. Well, it doesn't look like anybody's being threatened, so probably fine.
But yeah, the rest of you do see that very lifelike dragon.
Was there like magic emanating from the dragon statue?
Yeah. Oddly enough, no, it seems entirely void of magic.
Huh.
Yeah. I suppose one way you can think of
Fascinating.
it would be similar to how you've described iron as sucking the magic in, but not quite sucking the magic in. It's just like
It's like a
Blank.
basically a void.
Yeah.
It's blank.
Those pictures of black holes.
Okay, I'm gonna run to the
Just
bathroom.
Like a
So
black hole in the middle of the picture.
Hydrophobic material in a hydrophilic environment.
Yes.
Yeah, so you see
I'm kind of curious who Arthur is categorizing as the troublemakers of this party. I think there's only one person who's safe from that designation, but
It was the physician since day one.
physician is troublemaker number one. Yes.
Physician's troublemaker number one, not even since day one, but just since
creation.
whatever moment in time he was actually generated.
Since the moment I heard about it.
Yes. It's the moment he was generated in this party.
But I'm pretty sure every member of this party that isn't Iseline has shown penchant for being a troublemaker.
Yeah, so what do you all do at this point?
So do I see any evidence of if there's anything obvious creating the cloud layer?
Roll perception.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so here's kind of just like, well, I don't really
natural
see anything
20.
else to do in here, but he's also kind of just hanging around because the physician's clearly still investigating. We haven't gone anywhere, and it's not like there's anybody else around. But this is more entertaining than walking alone.
I'm still looking around, examining everything, and kind of like looking at the demi plane and trying to wonder trying to get an idea of what this Mythlivia is up to.
Alright, so Joan, there is nothing obviously like causing the clouds to make an eye of a hurricane, for lack of a better term. The only explanation you can come up with is that this has to be a dragon lair. You're not exactly sure how, but based off the rumors you've heard, there's just like no other explanation. It has to be the effects of a dragon lair.
It's a dragon lair. It does things.
Yeah.
Where's the dragon? And this lair is covered in like coins and things, right?
Coins,
Mhm.
gems. Some.
Because I know each type of dragon has their own type of like hoard, and the ones that usually have coins are not the good kind.
Yeah, let me
It's
just
concerning.
double check lore on at least half of these things. But while I'm doing that, don't let me stop all of you from doing things.
Oh.
Yeah, this is actually one of the
Hmm.
few things I can multitask.
Nice. Well, there's nothing immediately exciting here, so the physician is growing bored.
Jen has her questions asked her. She's already starting to leave.
Yeah, I mean, he's like, there's no dragon here. Damn. I'm just walking off.
Lord, 'cause that means we can go to town.
Does mean we can go to town.
We are now leaving the dragon lair where we have the big fake dragon, but not a real dragon. I'm wondering if the real dragon will be coming back, considering most dragons in my people's lore. Yeah, no.
The physician's definitely still muttering to himself, just like, don't enter, it's a dragon's lair, but I've got a bar. I don't understand
Actually,
connection.
there are.
So he's trying to come up with a connection.
There are
Mhm.
objects that appear to be of cultural or scientific significance. The stuff like pieces of art, so mostly in the form of statues or sculpture. And the like.
Okay.
Not that I'm trying to keep you in there. I'm just saying that.
No. Because I mean, he would be noticing these things. He would be okay. I'm gonna do a. I guess it would be a knowledge nature to figure out which kind might collect these.
Here,
Not
thinking
bad.
he has it all sorted out, he's just grinning, listening to the physician try and figure these two things out. Why would you have a pub in a place that you want people to keep out of? Because he thinks he knows the exact sort of people that would want to a pub and not want people to be in their pub.
Got a 15.
Black dragons appreciate objects of cultural, magical, or scientific significance that originates from lost cultures.
Okay. He's like muttering and then he stops, looks back at the statue. And then he's not going to say anything right away. So if anybody was following behind him, you might end up walking into him. And I apologize.
Just enough off to the side that he did not.
I probably ran into him.
Oh. Oh. That explains. Oh. Oh. You're
making disconcerting noises again, sir.
Yes.
And this time I can't tell if you're talking to Amelia or if you're actually talking to the rest of us. Or if you're not talking to anyone other than yourself.
I am you know, sounds like a really bad idea to make a pub in this particular dragon's lair.
Why this particular dragon's lair?
Because I don't think this. No, well, no, some dragons are nice and they're good. I've had plenty of good conversations with like bronze dragons. They're great. This dragon's not not the good kind. It's more of the scary, like burn your face off kind, but not like fire, like acid. and it flies and it swims.
like a black dragon, like very similar to the statue we just saw.
I would say like identical.
Yeah,
Oh, those would be the terms I would use.
So, yeah, I will point out that it's like the one difference between that statue and a normal black dragon is the fact that the scales look like they're made of crystal.
I mean, they wouldn't quite be so translucent. It'd be more of a shiny, I think. Let's be a little more solid, like color. You know,
Something
like
that's far more able to hide in the night, kind of thing.
Yes, and probably in the depths of the ocean.
Like, please tell me that's not gonna magically come to life.
I don't think so. There's no magic emanating from the statue. But the statue's not magical. It's just rock. It's probably quartz.
Is it a
Certainly
statue
vintage.
of itself, then? Huh? Is it a statue of itself, then? Do dragons
They do
write
like.
signs?
So, well, they like statues.
Do they write signs?
I wouldn't say that that's a typical thing they do, but they're not incapable. I mean, they sort of lack hands, but they're magical enough. I imagine they could levitate a paintbrush.
Sorry, I have a very funny image in my head of this big dragon, like with a dragon's claw, like scratching out on like a rock to not enter.
And
And there's, like,
I'm more
two
imagining
Rs.
like in between its claws, trying to hold a paintbrush and slowly dipping that into a can, and then slowly doing.
No, I'm just curious. Amongst all of the treasures and things, there aren't like bones, are there?
No.
So it's fairly devoid of that. That's promising. That is my alarm. Hold on.
I am so not used to not having a DMPC. I can't just be like, well, maybe we should go here.
Oh no, we're slowly walking out of the cave to do this. Don't worry.
Oh yeah, I mean so he like comes to this realization. He's looking at it, but he's like kind of trying to like usher people out now. Like, not great.
Yeah, Joan's been keeping up this entire
He's
time.
figuring it out.
So you have half the puzzle.
He probably has the wrong idea, but it's hilarious in my mind.
It is.
So here, you said you were thinking about making something.
Yeah. Are you guys hungry?
I could
Sure.
eat. It was a decent hike up.
I suggest we find someplace a little further away from here before we do, just in
I would
case.
like that as well. But the sandwich that we had was nice, but I wouldn't mind something to snack on. If you're offering, of course.
Oh, of course.
Think
May as well see what we can get in town fresh too. I mean, there's a lot I can do with just the things I can carry that aren't gonna go bad, but it's always better fresh.
Let's go there.
Go where? Sorry, I was still thinking about the dragon. Ah.
Here's making us food somewhere.
Alright, so you find a nice, probably safe place to sit down for an hour for Sahir to make some food.
Purgatory.
And I recall, I don't know, was it last session that Sahir needed water?
Needed water.
Yeah. On the last session, you brought that up before we called it a night.
I forget why I would have needed water.
I do too.
What do you make for everyone, Sahir?
Something Arabian. Probably lamb if I was able to find some, but because I suggested we go to the market first to see what I could find fresh. So better than whatever, dried meats and rations and, trail mix or whatever I could be carrying around.
I now want to see you pull off a lamb dish using trail mix. How about a chopped basket?
Roll investigation if you would.
Investigation.
Yeah, you investigate that.
19.
So, the freshest meat you can get is a meat of like some kind of like it looks like a bird, but not like it's larger than most birds you've seen. But you also do find some like normal animal products that you would be accustomed to. Maybe they're not as fresh as you would like, but they're at least edible. Right? They're something.
Mm-hmm.
And with someone as good of a chef as you, I'm sure you could make something quite delicious.
True.
Are we in town or is this in the plains between?
Yes.
Okay.
So, do I recognize either the meat or any qualities about it that might tell me what it's going to be like?
Roll nature.
Ooh, nat 1 for a 5.
Ooh.
I mean, the freshest meat looks like bird meat, but again, it's in larger portions than what you would expect.
Definitely not chicken. Might taste like chicken, but it's not chicken.
Definitely not chicken.
We can go to look at
Sahir debates it and he kind of looks at it and he's like, a bird, I could probably cook it like other birds and it's fresh. But what's he gonna taste like? Just don't know.
You could ask the person selling it.
I will do exactly that. I'll look at the guy selling it and he said, "Sir, if you were to cook that bird today, what spices would you recommend putting on it?"
Well,
I just love Megan's little like whispers in the background.
well, I'm not
cooking it
exactly sure on how to cook this. I mean, I just produce the meat. You know, I let people solve their own problems with the seasoning.
Fine. But what does it taste like?
Have you ever tried ostrich?
That's a good question, actually.
Out of this party,
Hey,
you're
Jen,
probably
come out here real quick.
No.
High or low?
higher low, dead center.
Where do they eat ostrich?
I'm just assuming they would eat ostrich somewhere.
I think Africa.
Sorry, guys. Jeff was making a weird noise, and I panicked.
No problem. You're fine. Yeah, we're still considering. We're contemplating where they eat ostrich.
Yeah, well, Albus had perked up to the noise because at first I thought it was in just my headphones, but Albus reacted to the noise, and I was just like,
Australia and Africa? I guess.
My bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say I knew Australia did.
Sure.
Did
I'll
what?
go with. I may have tried it once or twice.
It's very similar to that. I mean, the things look like a lizard-ish version of that thing. I mean, it's got fewer feathers than an ostrich, but it also has kind of a lizard face.
Is it locally sourced?
Yes, it is. I think it's local. I mean, I found it here.
That would be the definition of local.
Assuming everybody else is around me, I kind of look at them and say, well, it looks fresh. What do you say to the ostrich lizard bird?
Fresh meat sounds like a good idea.
We'll take it.
Alright,
Sorry, Joe's question just made me think it's like, okay, we found the foodie. Or not just he's the foodie, but like what is the hipster? That's the word. Not hippie, hipster. Like, is it locally sourced? For some reason, that phraseology made me think of that.
Alright. Mark off 6 silver.
Alrighty.
And now we have ornithomimus meat.
We have what?
Ornithomimus.
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 Yum. It tastes like bird.
I knew it was a dinosaur, and I knew Jen was gonna know what it was.
It's literally a bird mimic.
And then see here, we'll begin looking for what seasonings and spices might be available.
For the sake of brevity, I will say just mark up like 5 copper. And you'll get what you think will be good.
Sounds good. So no shortage of. There's not. It's those things aren't too hard to find spice wise. You're saying.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I mean, you're bringing people from pretty much all over the known world to this place.
Either has good imports or the land is good for growing a variety of stuff.
Can I make a perception check for, I guess, 2 things? One being coffee, and the other, the quality of construction of the buildings.
Alright, go ahead, roll that perception. Well, I think for looking for coffee, that's going to be investigation, but looking at the quality, that'll be perception.
Okay. Let's see here. Investigation, that's... I have no idea what I'm looking at. Investigation is a 16, and then perception is a 9.
So are you just looking for like people that are selling like coffee beans, or are you selling the drink?
I guess both. And I guess also trying to like figuring out, okay, is this price due to imports or because they can grow it locally, kind of thing.
Alright, Alright, so you do manage to find people like selling like coffee beans. There is like one cafe
Not just
If you were to ask someone, they'd say like, "Yeah,
Yes.
we're just like starting like production of the coffee beans,
It's the coffee ready.
but we need to wait for them to like grow and ripen." So for the most part, it's import right now. And what was the role for taking a look at the quality of the buildings?
It was just a 9.
You were a soldier, right?
Yep.
Yeah, you're a soldier, not a carpenter or a workman.
Or a mason.
Yeah, or a mason.
Mason's in the other party.
So, I mean, they look good enough for you.
But keep the rain out. That's awesome.
Yeah, pretty much.
Was she successful in the coffee again? I missed that part.
I think it was a 17.
I think it was only a 14. How much does a cup of coffee cost?
So for a cup of coffee, say like a silver. Yay!
I can spend that.
Hey, they're importing stuff.
Yeah. Nah, I get a cup of coffee and I keep it. I'm basically like carrying it in my own mug. Actually, no. I'm reusing the teacup that the physician gave me earlier. Like, I washed it out with my washed it out with the water skin earlier, and then had coffee poured in.
Oh, he's using the same teacup that he used from the physician for tea or the coffee.
Yep.
Oh no.
Oh dear.
I don't know if the physician sees this, but Sahir sees this and he's like,
This is a crime.
"It's all great, but you can't do that."
This is a crime against the culinary world.
This is a crime against every British sensibility toward a man.
I may be a rogue, but there are some laws that I won't cross.
Food related one.
Different things.
No, he's probably, I don't know. Physician's probably just kind of like still thinking about the dragon.
The crime against tea and coffee.
He's slowly like shifted to his native tongue, which I don't think anybody speaks. Unless you guys know. Where'd it go? Huh?
Fantasy Irish, I believe. Just for clarification, me and my players use the fantasy insert real world language as shorthand.
Yeah.
So.
No, it is not fantasy. It is fantasy space language. It's a very huh? It's a very poetic language. It sounds pretty, even though he clearly sounds frustrated.
To take that back, there are Arabian teas that can be mixed with coffee. I stand corrected.
And John hasn't even noticed anyone's opinion. I just like, finally, coffee.
And I'm just kind of looking at it, it's like, okay. But also but like
rather than saying you can't do that. So here's going to take it as inspiration.
Do I notice?
Why would I get my knickers in a twist? What's happened?
I'm just gonna look at the physician for a minute and just be kind of confused. But do I notice how happy Joan is with her coffee?
There's no deception when it comes to someone enjoying their favorite cup of mud.
Your favorite cup of
Upon
wine.
seeing this, Sahir decides that he is going to look for the best coffee he can find in cardamom tea.
Oh. Well, yeah. I'm still trying to figure out why there's a pub in the Dragon Lair.
For me,
Knickers and nothing to twist over it. I'm frustrated. Wait. That was totally... No. Shut up. Don't say anything.
Joan will actually look over at the physician and be like,
Go ahead.
Joan will actually look over at the physician and ask, so, given that you have apparently a vessel, does your vessel come with a kitchen?
Why do you think I made the tea? I can't just snap my fingers and have a piece of tea there. I can, however, snap my fingers and open the doors. I found that out recently.
Here, if you have bad luck looking for a public kitchen, I imagine the physician here might be able to borrow his.
Oh yeah, I don't use it very often. But it's got everything you need. Pots, pans, cups, bowls, plates. I think I even have food in there. I don't know if it's any good still.
Not to know what the heck the fridge of the TARDIS looks like.
But we do know that he will cook turkeys inside of the time-space vortex.
No, see, the fridge doesn't have to become sentient because if things go bad, the TARDIS is just going to spit it out.
I want to see him on an adventure somewhere where the TARDIS spits out a fridge because it is.
It's rank.
Disgusting that
He's
the TARDIS is like, no, right.
Just imagine him telling a companion, like, it's in the fridge. There is no fridge. What do you mean there is no fridge? Well, there's attachments, but there's no fridge.
What happened to the fridge? You don't want to know.
Actually, you don't want to know.
Upon seeing how happy Joan is with her coffee, I'm going to kind of like start looking around to see if maybe I can find a food that's from home for me. It's like, okay, well, maybe I can find something interesting.
And hopefully Sahir has found his tea combined with, finding his coffee. But upon hearing the physician has facilities, he says, this could be a good thing if your home has permanent facilities that I can get into, as he thinks about how small it was. And of course I carried stuff to get up with me, but it's always good to have something that was, meant to stay in one place.
Dominic, check your DMs real quick.
Didn't even hear it. And it's on two different
devices. I heard it, and I thought you just continued on until you.
Make sure you saw it. Yeah, it's one of the highest relevant skill, at least passively. Mary, it sounded like you were starting to say something before Marco interrupted you.
Oh, I was just saying that because I notice how happy Joan is with her coffee. I'm like, wonder if that's common where she comes from, and it made me think like, I wonder if I can find food from my home here. And then like kind of start browsing, like looking around the other food stalls and things like that. I'm assuming we're kind of like in a market that's mostly food, but I'm not sure. Is that accurate?
Yeah, you're in a market.
Okay. So I was gonna say because I'm excited for whatever here's probably gonna cook for us, but I'm also gonna be looking for some brunost, which is a brown cheese. I can roll for it if you need me to. And yes, I'm looking up a list of popular Norwegian foods right now.
Yeah, go ahead. Roll investigation.
Investigation?
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh. 23. I gone for the lingonberry cream.
Good to know.
Fascinating, right?
Yeah.
Is this shop kind of like a grocery store? Is that what I'm
It's a
understanding?
marketplace.
Or is it?
You got a variety of
Okay.
vendors.
Are there fresh fruits?
Yeah, there are fresh fruits. I'm not even going to make anyone roll for that. It's an island. You're going to have fresh fruits.
Kind of fresh fruits.
Things I didn't have to think about before.
Sorry, I've been inspired by my husband.
So when you
Did I tell you
visit that
enough in advance
DMPC,
I was going to play the chef character?
Hold on. My mind's getting like split into too many places at once.
You're take your time.
Did you roll, Mary?
I did. I rolled a 23.
Yeah, you can find some, like maybe not necessarily the foods, but at the very least the ingredients to make the stuff. And you have a chef with you that you can explain how to make them, if need be.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say, this will be interesting. I'm also gonna search for since I succeeded in finding ingredients for brunost, I'm gonna look for troll crime as well. It's a lingonberry cream, and looking at what it actually is sounds really.
Alright, now the fruits. That is an excellent question. Because this isn't necessarily a tropical island. Probably a bit more temperate. So you would probably have like some berries and some yeah, probably some citrus fruit as well. Yes, citrus fruit, among other things that's grown locally, and also some imported fruits as well.
What kinds of fresh fruit are there?
Like I said, probably like most like citrus. So like, the only citrus I can think of are oranges. That probably has to do with something that I grew up in a place that there were lots of orange groves.
Grapefruit, and
Yeah.
I mean, I guess technically you can create lemons and limes because they're not natural. They're genetically engineered.
They're kind of the precursor to genetically engineering.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think they got yeah, lemons were cultivated sometime around 200 BC.
A long, long time ago. They've been around for a
Yeah.
while.
Yep. Limes, I think, are more recent.
I believe you are correct.
No, I lied. That was 3000 to 1500 BC.
I was gonna say, I still think that they're pretty old.
Yeah. So lemons and limes are also an option because they are very old.
So yeah, see, a variety of citrus.
Good. No pears.
You don't like
No,
pears?
I love pears. It's the one thing I disagree with him on. I can't.
Point separated from the point.
But no, I do not like pears. Pears are disgusting.
What does pears ever do
I-
to you?
I I don't want to taste that.
Flashbacks.
Celery? Flashback.
So are you just like going to hang out in the marketplace, or are you going to find somewhere else to set up the soup kitchen?
I mean, once I've found my seasonings and my coffee and my tea and my meat, I'm definitely going to find somewhere to set up because that probably isn't the marketplace. I mean, my bird's big enough. I could probably sell some of it, but I can't just set up in the middle of the marketplace and be in the way. So we might go to the outskirts of town since things seem to be relatively just like,
Camp anywhere.
yeah.
So do you like go towards the river, or are you going to like set up like on the beach or by the lake?
What seems most accessible, so kind of a combination of closer and easy to travel to, and somewhere I could actually set up and not knock things over.
Are we using your travel stuff or using the blue box kitchen?
Whichever becomes available to me. I'm assuming that I have to use my stuff, but it sounds like I might be able to use the blue box kitchen if I can get into the blue box kitchen.
Since we don't really,
You could
I
get
know
his-
we're not really calling it the TARDIS, even though that's exactly what it is. But I thought blue box kitchen sounded really, really good for where Sahir could set up to cook. So it's like we now have our own restaurant.
Yeah.
It's called the Blue Box Kitchen. And chef's
Yes,
here.
if you would like to use the kitchen, you can. I just gotta pull it out.
The lake was suggested to us.
Very true. The lake was suggested.
It was. It was. It fell to the bottom.
Okay, so
Every time.
so yeah, with the facilities provided by the physician,
Do you want me to describe how you get to the kitchen?
Yeah, so
Would be
do
important.
that while I think about what I want Dominic to do to make this food.
Okay. So I'm gonna pull the box out again. I'm gonna set it down on the ground. Gonna let it expand. It definitely says police on it in common. I'm gonna snap my fingers to open the doors. Alright, come on in. And so he'll go inside. This box does not look big enough for all of you guys to go in there. By any means.
On the note of what I need to do to make it, I did take the chef.
Yeah. I'm
Uh,
taking a look at it. It all depends on like what aspect of it you're working with.
Mm-hmm.
Joan
So,
is the first one after the physician.
Yeah. So
who is?
Joan.
Jonas? Oh, so okay, Joan, you walk in, and this space is enormous, and it's a big round space. There are like panels with buttons that go all the way around the sides. There's like a weird fire pit in the center. There's a couple of hallways that branch off of it. And the physician's heading toward one of them. It's like, Pip, you're gonna fall behind and you're gonna get lost. And then I'm gonna have to find you.
Saphir kind of looks around and takes it all in as he keeps going. It's maybe the strangest large space he's been in before, but large spaces are not unfamiliar to him, and he knows the kind who tend to have them.
There's definitely circles, like, in the walls, like in the paneling, just like random circles. They're in these nice ordered lines, but there seems to be a purpose to the circles.
He hasn't said it outright, but he may think that the physician is a lot richer than he probably actually is now.
Like Joan,
He's probably a lot richer than the physician himself realizes.
Point.
like as the here passes by, Joan is busy like walking back out. Like, is this really how this works?
Kind of the same
Like,
things.
maybe this is why he knows a thing or two about demiplanes. What?
Like I'm like looking around.
You hear about Magnificent Mansion, but you never get to see it. So Jona's just busy trying to wrap her head around like the actual implications of it.
John's doing the figure on the inside act.
Here's like
sessions. You'll see tongs. Current one.
Here's looking around thinking the position's rich. I'm looking around. I followed Sahir because I'm like looking at the box. It's like I don't know if we'll all fit inside, but I know you're cooking, so go by all means go ahead of me. And so I'm kind of trailing in the back, but also kind of like I might do that whole like look inside, step outside, look at the box, and then back inside. It's like okay, there's got to be some sort of spell on this thing. I really hope you can teach me it, because that would be really nice to just have a home you could travel with anywhere. I can fill it with, I can make it be like home. I can make it be like Swan Belt. But I'm also trying to make sure I don't lose them, because I'm like, I will get lost in here.
He'll lead you down a hallway, and there's lots of doors that just kind of branch off this hallway, and he turns like 2 or 3 times before he opens up into a kitchen. And it looks like a traditional kitchen. It's just
What
There's
culture?
cupboards. There's a table. From what culture? Definitely Western European.
Okay. I was gonna say, 'cause, like, I just realized Arabian, Norwegian. Joe, where are you from again?
Portuguese? Spain or Portugal?
Right.
Yeah,
Spain,
fancy
Portugal.
Portugal.
Yeah,
Yes,
so this would be something. Yeah, as to say, this would be something familiar to you two, but probably not to Sahir.
To see here. Okay.
As much as I would love to stay up and watch you guys continue, I'm falling asleep while sitting here. So I shall go off to the land of dreams and make believe.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Enjoy your make believe, Mikey.
I will.
Will
Thank you.
you turn
Yeah.
Gyarados' lights off? Gyarados' light off.
Yeah, I'll turn his lights off.
Otherwise, I'm gonna forget.
Alrighty. Will do. Alrighty.
Thank you.
Bye.
Here takes a moment to
Well-
gather his surroundings because it's not the most familiar to him. But every kitchen has some of the same elements, and he quickly picks up on, okay, that's probably where a stovetop kind of heat is, or if I'm going to bake something, maybe I put it there. And he's kind of figuring out where he'd cook things in different areas, and also trying to figure out if this kitchen is situated in such a way that people might be able to watch him, or if it's more secluded.
No, it's a pretty open kitchen. It's a decent sized. Like, it's got more than one table and set of chairs in there.
The kitchen and dining area.
Yep.
There's a breakfast nook. Sorry, I just sounds like it. I don't care.
I was gonna say that sounds like something I can perform with.
He's asleep on his log. He's just like
Here we'll
he
get to
hasn't
cooking
moved
and
from that log in like 3 days. He'll like open his eyes and glare at me, and then he's just like
I will use my
wow.
short rest
really likes that log.
each. If people stay to watch, I will also try and make a show out of it, but only if people are staying to watch. If they kind of spread out or go somewhere else, then
So are you using the part as a short rest aspect of the chef feat?
yes.
Ugh.
Okay. I mean, that at this point doesn't really do anything, but
No, it doesn't, but we can prepare food. It's great. Did anybody stay to watch or stay nearby and might be paying attention?
I don't know how many followed us in there. I know, is Joan still in the console room?
Yeah, no, it's like Joan was kind of like, okay, so I can get used to this. I can get over this. Kind of like wanders around the cult's room. Which way did they go again? Probably this way.
Oh boy.
You guys.
Yeah,
I don't think I wandered off too much. I think I might have passed Joan as she was staring around.
definitely.
Oh dear.
I think Isleen followed Sahir, who was following the fish.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, because my thing is like I'm looking at how big it is on the inside compared to what it looks like on the outside. The fact that he can squish it down and stick it in his bag. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I want to find the physician and ask him how he does this so I can learn it. Like, please let me copy this into my spell book. I beg of you.
Yeah, so it's just the 3 of us in there. I haven't even thought to go back for Joan because I'm just like showing off my kitchen.
Okay.
So I may have to go
people-
find her at some point.
The people stayed close. So here's trying to make a show out of his preparation of food and cooking it and whatnot as well. Make it entertaining for the people who are around. May or may not be actively watching, but could be watching.
Yeah.
Marco, could you roll a D100 for me?
Absolutely.
Oh,
He's gonna get lost in a pocket dimension.
Uh-oh.
Either that or she's gonna stumble into the closet.
1.
Really?
Yeah, I rolled the zeros first, and I was like, okay, that's odd. And I rolled the 10, and I was like, oh, it's a 1. Okay.
Okay,
I literally.
you are lost.
Okay.
Oh, now the question
what
is,
did I
how
do to
long
my
is it going to take the
dice?
rest of us to... You may want to put them in timeout.
Yes, I will absolutely do that. I'm getting new dice. Where did I put them?
Maybe you've taken Dominic's bad luck.
Alright, so I don't think the physician would notice. I don't think Sahir would
Probably.
notice, despite the fact that he has the highest passive perception. If anyone's going to notice, it's going to be Iseline.
Yeah. It's like, where's Joan?
Huh?
Well, Joan followed you in. She was the first one to follow you in, but she's not here.
Arthur, should I be rolling performance for my showiness of the cooking?
Yeah, go ahead. Roll.
I know I put her into the.
I have a 22.
I passed her
going. Very good performance going on.
That's why we were distracted. He's got such a good performance going on. Yeah, she was in the console. She was in the console room. Maybe she's still there. Let me go see. If not, this could be a very bad thing.
First room.
I'll go find her. Don't wander off. There are a lot of rooms and a lot of hallways you can get lost in if you don't know your way. And I can't go searching for every one of you.
You're involved. You're a cook.
Don't wander off. And they never don't have a face that nobody listens to again.
Alright.
Okay. I'm gonna go back to the console room. Find that she's not there.
Yeah. Well, you're not exactly tracking him because there's no track, so it isn't survival.
Indeed. I'm going to use my survival to push buttons on my console to see if I can locate it.
Alright.
Okay. 23.
You managed to find where Joan is.
Huh. You're just...
Where
Joan,
Joan? I want to know. Where? In the box.
She found the library. It's a very, very big library. And there's a swimming pool in it. Well, she wanted to go swimming. There's a lake outside. Why'd she go all that way? All right. Go to the library.
Alright, so I will say that you managed to find Joan and bring her back to the other two by the time Sahir is done cooking.
Excellent.
We'll say, when I come and find you, you're probably just standing there like... It's like, if you wanted to go swimming, there's a lake outside.
Oh, Joan was like, okay. Actually, probably when they saw the library, they're like, out of everything I passed on my way here, a pool of water in the middle of a library is by far the most normal thing about this person. And has immediately gone to the library section of it to find a couple books that they can read.
Oh, can you find books that you can read? Probably. He's got a lot.
Does this person do this?
There's probably a
Is there a manual somewhere?
You should do an investigate to make sure you find, because there's a lot of stuff in there. You might not be able to find anything.
Yeah, I'm glad I followed your advice because it was a pretty good rule. Investigate.
Sorry, I love the reference that
Dirty
somebody's
20.
made for the Christie.
Yeah, so you find like a whole section that seems to be like on your culture or whatever. And there's at least one book that seems to, like, when you look at it, like, flip-flop between your language and some other language. Like, as you're reading it, you see your language, but you can see out of the corner of your eye that it, like, changes back to whatever the original language was.
Probably distracted by that instead of the actual contents of the book.
Right? Like, what? So, we were in the kitchen. What are you doing in the library?
Reading?
See that. Also see that you've found quite the collection.
How
I
you
do
have
have
so
these.
much space in here. I have walked. I do not know how long. There is
I
a
think we've
known
been in there at least 20
size.
minutes.
There's
That's
a
a pocket
known
dimension.
size of magnificent mansion. How is this bigger than it?
I don't know. I didn't make it. I
Did you
borrowed
steal
it. No, I borrowed it. I did intend to take it back. She, on the other hand, has no intention of giving me back, so I guess I was stolen. I guess not stolen. I guess I would have been kidnapped. I've been kidnapped. Wow, that's new.
And just nonchalantly guides you back to the kitchen.
Yeah, that's just like.
And like slowly trying to extract a couple more answers about everything. Like, okay, how is this? You talk about it like it's alive. Is that even possible?
Sure, it's how I got stuck in the first place. I didn't do it. I think dinner's almost done. Who's putting on quite a show? You missed it. Fascinating.
Damn. Oh well, it'll probably still tastes good.
I imagine it smells good.
Here puts out the food all perfectly plated and is serving both tea and coffee. And for Joan specifically, he will mix the two of them together. And he will suggest to the rest of the party that that is one way that you may imbibe it, but it is not the only way.
Was this the tea stuff that the physician gave everybody earlier?
It's tea, yes. It's not. It may not be the style that the physician has. I'm sure there's
No,
an
this is
exchange.
definitely not. This is not the tea
Cardamom.
I'm used to.
It's cardamom tea.
Cardamom.
You want to like take a sip of it and like slowly like it'll kind of be like that, bring it to the mouth like expecting, oh, there's gonna be coffee. That very subtle, okay, I'm gonna push this right back into the cup and then bring it back down. And then just very slowly they'll like just start eating to try and get rid of the taste of her mouth.
The physician's definitely just like swirling the tea in his mouth. Like, fascinating. You know, this is fascinating. You know what I just realized, guys? I've been kidnapped.
What?
Yes. The old girl. She kidnapped me.
Did you notice that
Amelia?
Joan does not like coffee and tea?
No, not Amelia. No, Amelia's my best friend. She came with me willingly. No. The old girl, the books. TARDIS. She took me. She told me. I borrowed her and she stole me. Kidnapped me. You don't steal people, you kidnap people.
Artist?
Yes.
That's
Or I should say, should be should say technically for this realm, Tarpus, time and relative plane in space. Yes.
This is a
Which is kind of broken right now.
Isn't it? This is a spell to make the box this big.
So Joan will be like slowly shaking her head. It's just like from behind the physician, she's like, no.
Well, imagine a spell, but it's sentient. But not really a spell at all. It's more like a thing, but not really a thing because it doesn't speak. I don't really like that at all. I'm not explaining this very well.
The words that Tong said last session come back to you. I've learned for things like this, it's better not to question it.
I've been trying to figure out this guy for years. It's not. He's dead useful though. Kind of an idiot, but
Alright, so
the real point is here. The box can think and do her own thing. It's not necessarily what I want.
okay, so after getting the meal,
Wait! Dominic, I got a question.
Yes.
Did you here notice that Joan didn't like the coffee tea combination?
Roll sleight of hand.
Sleight of hand.
And then,
Let's see
Yeah.
here.
because that would be against your passive perception.
Yep.
Okay, so he has to roll sleight of hand.
I doubt a 13 beats it.
I got a 16 on passive. So Sahir does notice.
Mhm.
Is something the matter?
Nothing. The food is actually quite good, thank you. And she's like,
Oh.
and Joan is actually being honest because this is probably her second plate of it.
Fair enough. I believe that to be honest enough. Is your drink okay?
I'm not sure what you did to it, but I know that isn't coffee.
Well, it is coffee, but it's also got tea in it.
Why would you do that?
Just this specific kind, you can put the two together. I wouldn't do it with all of them.
It's probably just equivalent looks of horror from this
So the physician's
call.
like got this confused look. He's actually just gonna grab Joan's cup and taste it.
Actually, this does remind me of one thing that happened earlier this session. Back when the error was around,
Mhm.
demonstrating his magic skills,
Mm-hmm.
everyone that was present rolled perception because they were suspicious of him. It was one of those magic tricks where it's like pick a card, any card, and then
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you take a look at it, memorize it, put it back in the deck.
Mhm.
It was like one of those card tricks. So, if you're suspicious of this guy at all, go ahead and roll perception. Otherwise, we'll just go back to the present.
The
Perception.
24 wasn't enough, I remember that.
How
10.
about a 26?
Alright, so, the physician, you're the only one that noticed. Because this guy rolled a 26 for sleight of hand. what he did was like after like because the cards they were like slapped out of his talons with by some unseen force.
Gotcha.
But he just like grabbed 3 random cards out of the air and subtly slipped those cards back into his sleeves while drawing out 3 different cards. And then when he first like allowed everyone to draw a card, he was using minor illusion on each of the cards that was drawn.
So the physician who drew a card didn't know how he had the card.
Yes. The cards he drew had minor illusion cast on them.
Fascinating.
And now back to the present, because I just remembered that little thing happened. And now I know how...
He probably, like, just... I mean, he knows how it works, but he's probably still like, good job. Brilliant.
Well, Joan is satisfied with her coffee tea mixture, and the physician is trying whatever. I'm just happily sipping tea because I'm like, oh, this is tea.
And leaving the coffee.
Yeah. My people drink coffee a lot. I don't need coffee. I wanted to try something different. And hopefully quell my disappointment in the fact that this is not a spell I can learn.
Sorry, it's not a spell I can teach because I don't know how it was made. I failed that class. I had more interesting things to do. I failed most of my classes, to be fair.
And yet still somehow managed to pass college.
Yes, I did. Not only that, but I have a degree. I have several. Several doctorates, in fact.
Hold the phone. Oh wait, no, it's not the right version of the physician. Never mind.
I might remember their cheese making degree.
But she's 10th generation, or she's 10th, and
she remembers some 11th stuff though.
Okay.
Well, we don't know which doctor was the one who got that. Actually, I do know which one it was. It wasn't 11.
Gotcha. I associated with 11 because that's the one who talks about it. So when I mentioned Brunost, which is a brown cheese, I'm really wondering if the physician actually realized what I was talking about.
When did you mention that?
When we were in a market as we were looking for food, I was looking for ingredients for Brunost.
He was a bit distracted.
I probably didn't say it out loud, but now that I now want to follow that.
Yeah, I mean, he was distracted at the marketplace, but
good point.
Probably.
So okay, back into character. The Tarpus teach me how to. I don't know how a fox could teach me how to do something, but would I be able to get the spell from the Tarpus?
Can you speak telepathically?
No.
Yeah, she's all in the I don't really talk to her much either. Like, I had a little bit of telepathic ability, but again, I didn't really perfect that. I had better things to do. It's a work in progress. I'm not very good at talking back.
And so here's kind of watching the way that people are eating and kind of like taking notes of kind of like, okay, I'll have to remember that they don't like this or that, and he can kind of tell that they don't all know like the culture pieces of it, and he's trying not to take it too hard. It's okay, but he's excited that they liked the food itself.
You know, I just realized that what just happened was
Huh.
Mary's character needs to talk to Tong Part 2.
This time it'll happen, we swear.
I mean, it technically happened
Like to
last
see
time.
people.
It's just we haven't had a session since then.
That's what he
They have
meant.
to use the word technically. Doesn't help the case.
I kept thinking, it's like, now that we've had a meal or whatever, I'm just like, I'm so glad that I wasn't the 11th Doctor, because he would have been just like, a bunch of the times, like,
Uh-huh.
it's like, oh, you know, spit the tea bag out. Like, he would not have been discreet, like, Joan, he just would have been,
And out the door.
And apples are rubbish.
It's rubbish.
oh, yeah.
And I
Apples.
like pick up an apple and like, I like apples.
Mm. Jelly, jelly, baby.
So I'll ask you all this. Do you intend on going to that circus?
Yes.
You're intended to.
Alright.
It's the circus.
Alright, so I will say that after your meal's all had and done, you will have time for like one more activity before you think you need to start looking for where the tent's been set up.
Yeah, as we're like cleaning up, I'll be like, so as you can see, I have lots of space here. You really don't need to find like a house or anything. There's totally enough rooms for you all in here. I'll have to get you guys a map so you don't get lost.
The map would be lovely. I thought the Catherine Swan Bell was large, and I was not wrong, but yeah, there's a couple Grand Dukes that would be very envious of this.
So here, upon hearing this offer, will bow and say you were very gracious.
You're welcome.
I'll take you up
I
on
think
that
I've ever been
offer.
called
It's
gracious.
better than sleeping outside.
It would be lovely to
Is.
say that. Thank you.
And there's different kinds of beds. So many different kinds of beds. There's like squishy ones, and there's water beds, and there's bunk beds, and there's like weird carpety things that Tong really likes, and I don't really understand. And if your beds aren't your thing, there are the big comfy chairs too. That's kind of an inside joke. And none of you are in on the inside joke. In a fan fiction that Myra and I were writing, one of the Doctor's companions gets turned into a TARDIS, and she becomes the Master's TARDIS, but she refuses to make him a bed and just gives him a comfy chair, and it pisses him off, so he sleeps on the Doctor's TARDIS quite occasionally because he really wants a bed. She's offended because she gave him a comfy chair.
It would be lovely to stay here.
Yes, he will get copies of a map made up. It's kind of a vague map that's got more of a generalized area, like this is the sort of kitchen-y area and the living room-esque type areas, the library's over here, this hallway and that hallway that's going vertical, they're all bedroom hallways. Yeah.
I have a feeling there's like squiggles somewhere on this.
Oh yeah, it definitely looks like he just drew this with crayon.
Do the maps look the same?
Of course not.
No.
They all have different colors on them.
They're vaguely the same. And he's like, okay, don't worry, I know the maps are a little confusing, but there will be a room with your name on it. The old girl's pretty good with that.
Sathir kind of looks at the map, looks around, looks at the different places that are exits and entrances in the current room, and goes, okay.
Well, try not to get too lost. We don't want to miss the circus. Circuses are fun.
Yeah, just
Agreed. I might wait to find my room and to make sure I don't get lost.
yeah. Joan kind of like looks at the map. Thank you very much, and then starts trying to make her way to the console room. Just like, if I'm gonna get lost, I'm gonna make sure that is at the end of the day, not right now.
You've already done it once before, so maybe it'll be less hard for you to get lost again. Don't you love his logic?
You're kind of thinking
so
what he
definitely
said,
can't
and
happen
like,
again.
no offense meant, of course.
What are the odds of that?
Alright, so who would be the first person to leave?
Probably Joan.
Alright, so you
That sounds
After
right.
finding the console room, like, all right, how are things doing outside?
The outside still.
So it's late in the day, but you do see a barn owl like sitting like just outside the box. And it has like a letter at its feet. As you open the door, it like, looks up at you.
I imagine you're delivering that letter?
I am. To the physician.
To the physician.
Jun just like turns around and yells into the box, "Physician! Got an owl with the letter on your name."
Got an owl with a letter on your name?
Yep, specifically that.
Oh, I got an at one. I totally did not hear you. That was really bad perception.
Trying to give more direction somewhere.
The one of us that didn't decide to get lost later.
Oh crap! I'm the one left.
I can take it for him, if that's permissible.
In case he doesn't know, it's from Prime Minister Tong. And the owl will fly away.
Like Jonah had
You hear
already
him all
pulled
around
out a
the
couple
corner at
gold
this
pieces. Like,
moment.
oh, okay.
Is that owl talking?
And Jonah actually like turns, like goes around the sides of the box, like looking past the corners. Like, okay, is there anybody else? Any other weird things going to pop out? That's gonna confuse me to this day more than I've had in my life.
This has been the weirdest day of my life. And I live in a magical realm.
One of those companions one of those people gets in the TARDIS and just doesn't take the TARDIS as well.
I mean, it's been a long day.
To be fair, there have been a number of them who've been like that. And the very first two companions he had, outside from his granddaughter, he technically kidnapped. Yeah, he kidnapped his granddaughter's teachers. Because how dare they follow her home?
Alright, so Joan, there's a letter on the ground, and Sahir just asked, did that owl just talk? Or was that
It did.
Talking?
Was it telepathics talking or just actual talking?
Actual talking. Alright, come on. Use your Erd and meta knowledge.
Your beak open.
No, absolutely not.
I'm sitting here like, hello, Gesha.
Yep, it is Gosha. He's still around.
I will make sure that Selena gets out. So we'll probably come back together not long after.
Are owls talking normal to you?
It's
find familiar as a
the letter.
Huh?
At this point, no, I don't know.
I feel like they also just meshed into Harry Potter with an owl showing up with a letter.
Is the physician going to Hogwarts? That sounds like a really bad idea, but really funny.
This needs to be a story.
Pretty sure there's already something out there about that.
Okay, so there is one that I read on fanfiction.net that was hilarious. The Doctor and Jack were bored. I don't remember what was going on, but the Doctor and Jack Harkness were bored and decided that they were going to play tag across time and space. And literally every chapter was them popping into some other fandom. There was like Men in Black, Harry Potter, Jurassic Park. I mean, literally, if you could think it, they were there.
That's awesome.
Playing tag.
Okay.
It was hilarious.
So I'll say that Iselina and the physician you do come up when
Mhm.
after Sahir asks if talking owls is normal for you.
I get the magical owls thing, but animals talking. Again, you don't get used to that. Was it because I haven't seen that before? And then it's psychically talking, technically a dragon? Where's the dragon gonna show up now? I'm now just waiting for that other boot to drop.
What about an owl talking?
Well, if you need,
know that it's normal it's not normal for you either. And so here we'll pick up the letter and hand it to the physician.
Talking owl. Wait, what was the owl's name? I forgot his name already.
Gotcha.
Neither of the two characters knew what the owl's name was. Though.
Yeah, but
Gausher.
Gausher. Oh, was it Gausher?
I don't know. He didn't volunteer his name. Just said
Give me the letter.
It was from the Prime Minister.
Okay.
Okay. Now what? Every time I get a letter like this, something weird happens.
Alright, so basically the letter, like, it contains a map. It's like when you get the sending, it's basically says like, in case I'm not, in case me or Maury are not at the door when we send you the sending, here's a map. Just wait for us in the study.
Oh, excellent.
It's a full-on map of what you can presume to be Tong's version of this, just not as big.
Yeah. Oh. She's updated it. Nice.
Jonah's looking over the physician's shoulder.
She's changed the desktop. What?
Jonah's looking over the physician's shoulder. Just, what are you looking at? Just looking at the map.
It's Tong's magnificent mansion.
Ah, yes, the very defined dimensions I was expecting.
Yes. Precisely.
Do you ever get
the layout's
lost in this
changed though?
place?
Well, I did get lost in here with Clara once, and it was exploding at the same time, so that was kind of terrifying. But we fixed it. It's fine.
It doesn't explode anymore, I take it?
Well, no, the engines aren't really working right now. I can't use it the way I used to. You don't know what an engine is. Oh, never mind. Don't worry about it.
As you just like see Iselene like repeating the word to herself.
I make lots of loud noises that kind of sound like vroom in most cases. In my case, it's more of a ooh, ooh, ooh.
John actually looks over like, wait a minute, I think I heard a artificer build something that one time, and then it exploded. They definitely lost an arm over it, but technically that was deserved.
Fascinating.
Alright, there's like...
Here's trying to comprehend the sound that you just tried to make, and partially by not perfectly mimicking, he goes, so does it run on tired horses?
No, I don't. I don't think so. I'm pretty sure that it runs off of Ultron energy. It's a very
Sierra has
specific
no
type of
clue what
magical
Arctron
energy.
energy is. So he just kind of shrugs and says, okay.
It's kind of like regeneration energy, except you don't know what that is yet. Imagine lots of gold and glowy lights and fairy lights. It's like fairy lights, but it's gold and it makes noise. I can show you, except I don't know how to do fairy lights. But I do know prestidigitation, so I can kind of show you. Just kind of
Like
make this clearly.
microcosm of the effect.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he said like gold glowy lights, except what you're seeing is just like this up and down blue lights. Because clearly he doesn't know his colors.
As I'm watching this, I'm like, that does not look like any prestidigitation that I've ever seen.
What makes you lights?
Well,
Sort of.
yes, but the formation of the lights is different.
Oh. Yeah, well.
There's nothing wrong with it. It just looks different. That's all.
I was just trying to make it look like what the TARDIS looks like when it actually works. Like I said, she's kind of. I don't want to say dead because she's not dead. She still talks to me. She's dormant. Yes, like a volcano, dormant.
I don't know if volcano is the best description if you said she's not going to explode again, because don't volcanoes explode?
They do when they're active. She's not supposed to explode. We crashed. It happens.
Oh.
Here's here's the prestidigitation. He sees the difference, but he's like, gotcha. Like prestidigitation, but energy, and he'll cast prestidigitation and create a bunch of sparks.
Yes.
I'm noticing this other corner. I'm like, oh, sparks, yes. That's what I'm more used to them looking like. There's something wrong with yours, sir. I was just commenting that it was different.
I like to think that I'm unique. It's really hard to be unique when there's more than one of me. That's not the point.
Out of character, that is an understatement. And back in character.
The real problem I'm having is I'm trying to decide whether I want there to be a 13th face and or it to be a woman. Do you know what that would be?
Do you want to on that controversy?
Well, that one was definitely by accident.
Yeah, I think. The only thing I want to know is like, what is you want to do, like before
the
going to
circus?
the circus, because it's 10:20.
Yeah.
So we should be cutting it off. I just want to know, like, what do you want to do right before?
Joan will find a nearby tree and practice with her new crossbow.
Alright. So, Joan's going to do that.
We could investigate the area that the tent is early if we can find it and look for some of their tricks. Or I'm sure there's lots of other entertaining things to do too. It just crossed my mind.
Yeah. Look to see if there's any tricks to
There's-
that dragon lair.
Got to check the library.
Library?
As long as it's not called the library. Seriously, I got trauma. I can't do it.
Do you have any other spell books?
Me?
Right.
You
There are
said
lots
the
of spell
library.
books. Oh yes, in my library I have lots of spell books. Lots of nature books, I have lots of science books, I have lots of weird books, novels.
Okay, so it sounds like Sahir wants to go and scout the circus area, and
He probably will not go by himself, though. So if everybody else gets up to something, he'll get up to something.
and
I mean, honestly, the doctor is a physician's always up to go investigate things because he's a nosy little prick.
and does Cicely want to go and check out the library, or see if there is a library?
I'm worried I will get lost if I go alone. But
I
yes,
have map. The library's on the map.
I mean, it's not on there by name, but it's going to be pretty close to the Hanatora trading post.
a moment.
Like, the big landmarks that you need to know, they're on there. So, teleport
Which
to the
library is she
tower.
going to? Is she going to the Tarpus library or the...
I was gonna say, is this when the physician said library, I was assuming they meant the library that's in the Tarpus. Or that there is a library in the Tarpus.
No, he was talking about the town library.
Oh. Actually, town library would be good. I do want to check out your library at some point. But just to make sure that I don't accidentally get lost, even with a good map. I'll probably like the town library first.
I'll have to cordon off part of my library because I can't let you get to the spoilers.
Alright, so
Spoilers?
Joan, practice. Sahir, check out the circus area if other people go. Iseline, library, and
Town library.
physician, probably multiple things. Am I getting that all right?
Believe so.